I guess we'll go to public comment and invite a guest. And Mr. Heisner asked to give a speech today, and he's not here yet, so if he shows up between now and then, we'll allow him a little time. Do we have anything for the union? Nothing this time? Okay. Consent of approval of minutes and bills due payable and the treasury report.
Yeah, sorry about the lack of lead time on that treasury report. If you have any questions about it, I did it, so I can hopefully answer. I think it's pretty standard. We are starting to get some bills on some of the health, life, safety stuff, so that's that'll be next month. I have a question on anything?
Ask him.
Hey, Jason?
Yep.
On this board report, group by vendor, there's only one sheet. That's all the vendors we dealt with this month?
Yeah, we haven't. And typically in July we don't do as much. That was the amendment though. The original one, that's just the add-on. It should have been one in the original packet.
There is one. Right here.
But it still should be less than most
It
months.
is here.
It's pretty thick.
It's thick.
I was going through it, it's pretty thick.
Back of this one.
I thought I read it, but
Yep.
you're not seeing this.
The amendment's just the stuff that came through she did last minute today. She's always trying to get bills ready to get them all out. Oh, she does have that one HVAC, health, life, safety on the amendment. That's the first of the bills for the computer controls. I've got an update on that on the superintendent's report. When we're done, the junior high and Brookport will both be standard HVAC controls and still computerized, but it won't be proprietary like they are now. So any HVAC guy or our own maintenance men should be able to work on it, which we can most of the time.
I'll make the motion to accept.
Have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion?
That's the same every night.
Lisa, roll call please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Savage?
Yes. Okay, move on down to the superintendent's report.
Just trying to get that to look right. I don't know if it's going to or not. Probably not. You might have to get closer here.
I'll have perfect eyesight.
Can't you see that, Aaron?
Yeah.
I got an extra copy here if you want it. Okay, so the normal expenditures, I redid the chart. So that first page, we had $1,543,100 in expenditures. Should match the front page of that treasurer's report. And that's our first one for the year. And on our cash balances, we start the year with $4,491,000 and some change, which is more than the last 2 years. So definitely doing better than FY 18, which was August of 17. If you remember, we were almost out of money. So we're getting back there. Still not out of the woods yet. I did add the monthly revenue versus expenditures. If you remember, July we don't get revenue from the state, so there's no state aid. There's typically no local revenue as far as property taxes or anything like that. So the $1,000,001 looks like we did okay there, but that's really inflated because that's when we got our health, life, safety money, which is $700,000 of that's health, life, safety. So just keep that in mind. We really only took in what is that, $400,000? So that one's always lopsided. Do have some information on healthcare. We're not ready to approve a new plan yet, but Aaron Clark and I and Daisha Gilbert and J.D. Mitchell met with the Cornerstone people last week, and we have, they went over our healthcare reimbursement card, which I gave you in a separate handout there. Our healthcare reimbursement plan, just so you know, every year we look at that to see if we're making money off that deal. So on that sheet that has blue and red on it, the red column that says BCBS, that's the plan that we passed on to the employees, which is about what was it, $1,750 total out of pocket, something like that, or $1,850. Is it $1,750 or $1,850 out of pocket deductible? We bought what was in blue, the BCBS in blue there, which was a $5,000 out of pocket. And then with our health care reimbursement plan, we reimburse staff members that go over the $1,750 up to the $5,000 to cover. So they essentially have a plan that has the low deductible, but we buy a high deductible and compensate for the difference. And every year we look at the total savings to see if it's worth doing this. Last year, if we would have bought the plan that we passed on to the staff members, it would have cost us $2,318,483. We bought a plan that with the higher deductible only cost us $2,131,602. We ended up paying $186,881 in reimbursements, $139,174.27 in reimbursements. So that means we saved $186,881 by doing the healthcare reimbursement. So we always look at that just to see if it's worthwhile to continue to do that, because the healthcare reimbursement plan is a pain for employees. They have to get reimbursed, they have to bring in their statement of benefits and all that stuff, but it saved us almost $200,000 last year. So that's our healthcare reimbursement plan, so we plan to continue that. The bids that came in this year, back to your board report, and the bids, they bid it out to all the major ones. There's really not that many every year. I'm surprised at the bids we get. Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Health Alliance, Paradigm, and United Healthcare were the ones they talked to. Only 3 of them actually put in a bid. A couple of them told them that they didn't want to, and a couple of them came in with bids that were not competitive. So out of the 3 that put in bids, Blue Cross Blue Shield is the one carrier that we're with right now. Health Alliance and Paradigm were the other 2. And when it was all said and done, Blue Cross Blue Shield is going to be our recommendation. I believe we can say that all, we're not quite ready to approve this yet, but they came in at 5% higher than what they were this year, which is an increase of $99,621. Same coverage as last year, same provider, same carriers last year. No one has to change anything. And that doesn't sound like it may be a good deal, but if you consider that healthcare costs nationally, I think he said went up 12 to 13%. So coming in at 5% is really not that bad, especially given the illnesses that sometimes we have on our plan. And then also, if you look back in 2017, the year we switched to United Healthcare, 17-18, Blue Cross we were paying them $87,000 more than what we're going to pay them now for a similar plan. It was a little bit better, and their renewal was for almost $100,000 more. So our renewal is going to cost us $2,092,042, or $92.42. If it's still $100,000 cheaper than it would have been for 17-18, if that tells you anything. So we feel like we're in pretty good shape with Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I think it's the consensus of your people that they would like to stay with Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh, yeah, especially that 5%, no question.
So that's probably what's going to be on the recommendation for next month, because we renew on October 1st. So anybody have any questions about that? That's our health care. As far as maintenance, I mentioned this earlier, we have almost replaced all the controls in Brookport and junior high. I think at junior high they are already in because they installed the software on the computers last week so that we can control them either remotely or at site. Brookport should be installed this week, and then they have to troubleshoot it and make sure all the controls are working. But essentially, for the last 3 or 4 years, we have not had the ability to control either systems at either school because the computers did not work. And it's all computer controlled with VAV valves stuff I don't understand. Mark can probably explain it, but mixing valves that open and close with all that water and air. So now we will be able to not only control them, but our maintenance people will have them on a laptop, and they will be able to log in remotely even, and hopefully adjust it without running to each site. And they're going to get some training on that soon. We had a lawnmower blow up at Franklin. The pan gasket, I think something started leaking and the oil ran out and threw a rod before they could stop it. That mower was the one that was bought when Randy McDermott was principal. It's been several years. I couldn't get an actual date on it. Anybody have any thoughts on how to proceed with that? Ken would like us to get the same model and make that we have at Unity and junior high. So we have the same ones at the elementary schools.
What are they?
They are the Snapper Pros, the smaller Snapper Pros. They're like 60 inch.
61.
Yeah, 61, that's right. 61 inch. Just for ease of working on it. Seems like a good idea to me. That would give us, right now we have the one loaner that we have in the district over there, but it's a much smaller unit. And that was, we'd have one loaner, and then we'd have all of our old ones replaced, because we replaced the one at MES this year with that Grasshopper. We bought a new one at high school, and this is the last old one, because the one at Unity is already a Snapper Pro, and the newer one at junior high is already a Snapper Pro. So, anybody have any thoughts on that? Just trying to nail that down.
Sounds good to me.
We can get $100 for the one that's blown. That's about all it's worth, I think, for scrap metal.
You're lucky to get that.
We're working on updating the security system at MCHS. We've got some issues with that, so I'll be keeping you updated on that. We've got the guy coming out next week, and so we'll hopefully get some upgrades, which isn't a security concern. So we're trying to eliminate some blind spots there.
But they are working. The cameras are working at high school.
Yes. The cameras are. The recording module is another story, but we're getting there. In September, no school Monday, midnight week, September 13th. And then we got the homecoming parade. Don't forget that'll be a 2 p.m. dismissal that Friday, the 27th. Just do that in there. Now, we've got some boundary change notes. I can either go through that now, or we can wait till that item is on the agenda, whatever you all prefer. I just have some options. We've talked about this a lot. I think at some point we're going to have to actually vote on something and make some changes. You don't have to vote on it tonight, but you can start the conversation, or you can vote on it tonight. I think anything we do would just be for students moving into these areas. I don't think it's fair to pull the rug out from under anybody that's already been going there, you know. But if someone moves into these areas we're talking about, I think that's when we start saying, okay, you're actually in this new district. I mean, do you guys have any thoughts? You want me to go through a couple ideas real quick?
Yeah.
Please.
One area we've talked about on and off, it's in your board packet, is between Old Marion Road and North Avenue from Upper Salem to Country Club. That whole area now is Franklin. And it includes the Gallagher Estates. We're just talking east of North Avenue, not west. North Avenue would be the dividing line. But east of North Avenue, west of Old Marion, and then north from Country Club all the way up to Upper Salem. I believe the Jefferson boundary stops at Upper Salem now. And so this would extend it on down to Country Club. One of the reasons I think this is an easy move is because we already have a bus that runs through there. We wouldn't have to necessarily add busing, depending on how many people we're talking about. But if you make this move and someone moves into Midland Drive, we have a bus that could simply go by there and grab them already en route, without adding too many miles to the bus route.
Even up North Avenue, even the houses that are on the west side of the road, there's not going to affect probably 0 kids.
Mm-hmm. That's up to you. I was just thinking about having that as a dividing line. But that whole area is a pretty easy one because we've got that bus that runs all the way to Zion Church, I believe. So it's already there. I mean, any of those stops along Old Marion would be simple. I know there's a couple subdivisions on Old Marion there. That would be part of that. So essentially, if you wanted to do that, that would just be for anyone moving into this area. We'd have to get that out to the realtors so that everyone understands what they're getting, but that would become Jefferson for now. until a better solution presents itself. Does anybody have any questions, or anybody want to talk about that?
As long as we started out with the new ones and don't make the changes to the ones that are existing. I mean, we're looking at 5 years, 6 years, and the total change is made.
Right.
So,
And it could be a little longer than that, because I don't think you'd want to split up families. So if you've got a second grader going to Franklin that lives in this area, and they have 2 to 3 years from now they got a kindergartner, we'd let the family stay intact. That's
Right.
already been there. You know, anyone moving in would have to go somewhere different. So that's one option. Again, you don't have to take that option, that's just a suggestion. I know Larry and a couple of you mentioned hospital addition before. You know, that's part of Franklin, and it's actually in the city limits, which is kind of different. So I looked at that. The only difference with that one is busing, because when I did the Google map, from Massac Memorial to MES was 1.7 miles. And I think technically it has to be within 1.5 miles where you can get away without busing students. So if you start doing that there, we may have to, in the short term, that may add some busing. And eventually it won't, because we're already busing those kids to Franklin. But if you allow everyone there to keep going to Franklin, and then you start, as new people move in, moving them to MES, you're going to have a way of getting them there, I think. So that would be an extra cost in the short term. Like I said, in the long term, if that remained to be the case, like Larry said, 5 or 6 years from now, it'll be a wash, because that whole bus route going to Franklin would stop, and then it would just go to MES.
you know, the way these lines are drawn here though, do we not want to square that up? I mean, I know, not being picky, but by the time you take in Aiken's Farmer Funeral Home is not in that zone. When you get over there, you have some houses that are on the west side that would be, eliminated, and that line does not run east-west, it runs there. I was looking down here, is there a reason why that line that's on the east side did not come all the way down to 19th Street?
Now 19th Street's already in MES, so I just left it.
Sure.
Yeah.
When did they put Simmons and all them in?
It's always been
It's been in MES.
I don't know.
When I went to school,
No, they come to Franklin.
But there might be some that come out there, but it's in MES's
Yeah.
district.
Yeah, I think a lot of those kids go to Franklin. And that little boardwalk area.
Yeah.
Do I?
I think a lot of those kids go to Franklin.
Yeah.
But I mean, does MES have room for, where Franklin's doesn't have room, they've got 30 students. I mean, what's MES?
Right now, the class sizes are not large. They're averaging 22 to 24, something like that. This would depend. So, I know MES doesn't necessarily have all the room in the world, but I think the first option is a lot easier. This one, like the things you guys are bringing up, there's a little more what ifs in that one. And I don't care, I don't know how far, the reason I drew the line before Aiken's Ferry or Farmer, I didn't know how far the city limit goes out that way. I was just trying to get the city limits is what I was thinking.
Did it drop below Bill Ed's house? City limits beyond that, Patriot.
Patriot Drive.
Yeah.
It goes all the way out there. So you could do, it doesn't matter to me. I think that's something, you probably get a little more pushback in that newer subdivision, but,
Not a whole lot of kids in it, so.
well, there's not a whole lot of kids in our district right now coming up. Our kindergartens are small, but but that's just something, I mean, if you want to take that and table it and consider it some more, that kind of goes with some of the things we've been talking about that we keep tabling anyway, so it's whatever you guys want to do. But I think we need to do something to start planning for the future, because we're going to run into this issue that we have at Franklin more and more if we don't watch it. Franklin's boundaries are just, they're not workable for the size of school anymore. There's too many houses. That's my take on it.
Any recommendation here?
Well, I like this Jefferson one, because I think if you then start adding more students to MES, then you're just going to have the exact same problem years from now, but you're still going to end up with the same problem. And if you've got 25 students in there on average now, I mean, Franklin in general doesn't have more than 25 students. I mean,
Yeah, just a couple classrooms.
yeah. So I mean, that would kind of be a wash to,
The only thing that, it would be a little better at MES because they have 3 classrooms of the same grade, so we'd never run into the issue we have at Franklin, but yeah, I see your
or
point.
Jefferson, you've got half that.
We need kids at Jefferson, yeah, so it's a no-brainer to try to expand that to me. You just can't, you just gotta watch the boundaries and make sure the bus routes aren't gonna be crazy. That would be the main consideration. You don't want kids riding the bus forever.
That one bus is gonna be able to service all these areas right here.
I think it potentially could. Over time, they might have to add something, but I think, you know, you're not gonna have a busload of kids move in at any given time, so it's gonna, you're just gonna be picking up 1 or 2 at a time as they move in, and then,
And is this already Jefferson
I think parts,
on that side of the street?
on East Old Marion, is that Jefferson?
Okay, no. When you go down Country Club Hill on that Massac Creek Road, if you turn, that's all Unity. Then, there's a creek, a
Yeah.
bridge, when you
Massac
go on
Creek.
straight,
Mhm.
the Massac Creek Bridge. Right past that is Franklin.
Right.
Okay, so that side
That
of the road's
turns
still
into
Franklin.
Franklin,
Okay.
yes. So we
So-
would have to move this on down to
So
that
that line would have to
bridge.
go on down to Massac
Where
Creek.
the Hollands, right, where they live, yeah.
No, okay, yeah, I see what you're
Because see,
saying.
that was all Franklin.
So essentially Franklin goes past Old
So
Marion
we would have
all
to
the way
make it
Massac
turn
Creek.
from Unity to Jefferson on that side. Because now it's Unity, Jefferson, and Franklin. So it would be just Unity, Jefferson,
Right,
until you got to North Avenue.
North
Then
Avenue.
it would be Franklin,
Right.
right.
yeah, I didn't think about that. So that
Yeah,
line
that
on
just
that
would need
map
to
would
be
actually
moved
have
down
to
a
go
little
east.
bit. Yeah.
All the way,
Right, just right past that bridge is where it turns into Franklin,
okay.
on the right side, yeah.
But if you're going east on Country Club, you go over the bridge, when you get to that intersection, if you turn left, that's Jefferson.
Yes.
By the Jehovah's Witness and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, on down there, it turns into, yeah, that's Jefferson. But it's Unity so far, and then it turns, yeah, then it turns into
Okay. I
Jefferson.
was thinking Old Marion was the line, it's actually the creek is the line.
It's where the bridge,
It's coming out
right
of
past the
there,
bridge.
by Franklin, than we have out of Hospital Drive.
We're talking about Hollow Noah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Franklin?
No,
No,
that's
that's
MES.
MES.
It is in the S district. Okay.
But there's a lot of parents there that were able to get in on the rule. If you go from a larger class to a smaller class, you were able to take your kid, drive your kids. And I know there were some that drove their kids to Franklin. Now, whether or not the rule was strictly enforced back then, I don't know.
I was just curious.
Because I know there were several families that moved to Highland, they thought that was in Franklin, and when I told them it wasn't, they were not happy.
Yeah,
But it's not.
I know one family went back and forth for months over that.
Yes, they did, but it's not. It's MES. Always has been MES.
But on the other side of the road, Cedar Lane is Franklin.
Okay. And Cedar Lane's not in city limits,
No, it's
No,
not.
it's not.
but Hollow is.
Yes. Yeah. They have city electric and city gas, but it's not city. It's totally your preference. Like I said, if you want to think about it, you can do that, but
I like this one here.
whatever you want to do. I just think we need to start planning for the future and making sure we do something that makes
Could you not
sense.
expand into some Unity's district there by the country club?
You
To
could.
Jefferson?
Mhm.
I mean, it's actually closer to Jefferson if you,
Yeah, you just have to watch the, I just worry about the bus rides, but it actually probably would be similar, yeah.
I mean, I could drive to Jefferson from the country club before I could Unity probably. Just go straight up Massac Road, you're there.
It would be easier if you made it at Massac Creek Road. The ones that lived on this side were Unity. If you lived from the corner there, you're going to
That would
Jefferson.
be a nice dividing point.
It would. That way, whenever
But
they
the
would
point
know.
you're making, it is, that's another boundary we need to look at someday because,
I mean, it's a pretty
you
good
know,
haul.
and Woodhaven, isn't it still Unity?
That's Unity.
I mean, those boundaries were, you know, set way before all these other boundaries changed, so. I don't know. That's something, we could look at that too. I just throwing out, the one option I think with the Upper Salem Road area is one of the easiest to make, just simply because we've already got buses running through there. So, that's-
Well, we need to do the best we can to try to equalize some of this. And, I mean, Jefferson needs students, right?
Mhm. They could stand a whole lot of students.
Because there's what out there, 100?
106 right now.
106.
Yeah. K through 6.
But instead of cutting off at the bridge, if it would come on down and cut off
At the
at
road.
Massac Creek Road, yeah.
Yeah, and if you want to do some more research, we can look at it again, we can table it and look at it again. I just want to start that conversation and try to get something on the books before.
Want to bring it back up next
Come
meeting?
down 145.
Well, I had
Bring
it
it up
written
next meeting.
down, I can tell you.
Comes down just,
Oh, she said.
Mittendorf is at Jefferson.
it comes down to,
Where?
Oh, Mittendorf.
so it comes down just past, right down to Midway Road, doesn't it? Right
So I
before
mean,
Midway?
you're only, if you're gonna move over there, you're only leaving another corner,
Right.
you know?
You could go all, what you're saying is you go all the way to Country Club to 145.
Yeah, just go up, just,
Yeah, you could.
I'd like to table it till we have more information on it. That's my opinion.
We could definitely look at that. We can maybe look at redrawing that and see. I could probably estimate how many houses are there. You know, we're only talking about people moving in, not current students too. That's the other thing.
Right,
So,
right.
you know,
Got a motion to table it. A second.
Second.
Any more discussion? Lisa? Oh, we don't have to read that, we'll just table that.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Okay, what else?
that's all I have for the superintendent's report. Sorry.
Okay, we got operations and maintenance.
Yeah, we're still. I thought I was going to have some plans for you to look at, but I still don't have the drawings done from the architect. So you're going to have to continue just to let that be tabled unless you guys want to do something. But I don't have any more information on that yet. That's coming.
Okay, for the new business, consideration of bids for the bleacher replacement at Massac County High School. And we only had the one bid, is that right?
Yeah, I gave you a copy of the bid opening sheet, the ledger. There's only one bid, Irwin Seating, but they came in under the estimated price from the architect, so we're happy with that, as long as everyone else is happy with that.
That was $291,695.
Can we possibly pick 2 or 3 colors that was, 4 or 5 maybe, and just put it to our students at the high school right now for just a informational vote? See what they like.
Yeah, we could do something like that. Let them weigh in on some of it. We just need to give them some parameters, because I really don't think you want white or some of the light colors.
Well, you can't give them that whole book and say,
You want to stick to the color schemes of the school.
yeah, you want to stay with that. I mean, they could give them some options.
We'll look like the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
You know, but that doesn't hinder our decision to take the bid. It's just an idea that we did that back when we did the Patriot emblems and stuff like that. It just gives them something that they buy into.
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, I need a motion to
I make that motion.
bid for the bleachers. Got a second?
Second.
Have a second, any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Okay, we're gonna go down to see what's consideration of the junior high golf tournament in April.
Yeah, and this is something we talked about. We knew they were going to expand. We got some more information on it. I just need the board to approve participation in the golf tournament. It's not a team event. The idea is they're going to have one tournament in the spring for junior high age golf. It might even be just for 8th graders. I have to look at the thing, but we don't have to hire a coach. The idea was they're not going to try to have the districts incur any costs over this. You're not going to have to practice or anything. They're just going to have an individual tournament for the junior high age, and eventually that's probably going to expand. This is like step 1. But if we're going to participate, we need the board's approval to do so. I know Bear said he would help out all he could, but he didn't want to be the main, coach. So there's already some people that I think Price Coakley might have offered to help, or somebody offered to help. And just make sure that somebody's up there with them. But it's not a team sport. It's not a school sponsor. Yeah,
It's a great idea.
But we would have to approve it, and we would treat it as a school event for that day.
I'll make that motion.
Make a motion, have a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Okay, we're gonna go to our executive session. We'll go right into the resignations. Morgan Brady, Franklin Jefferson PE. Need a motion for that.
Another lady that never started.
Okay, got a second?
I'll second.
Second, any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Okay, Andrew Morrow from Massac County High School Assistant Baseball Coach.
I'll make the motion, we accept his resignation.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing? Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
And Mr. Souders?
Yes. Dane Gregory, MCHS Assistant Football Coach.
Make that motion.
Have a
Second.
motion and a second? Okay, got a second. Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Penny Allen, MCHS Yearbook Sponsor. I need a motion to accept her resignation.
Move.
Have a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Nothing on retirement. Let's move down to new employment. Kathleen Wainscott, Franklin Jefferson PE teacher. Need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Have a second. Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Kathy Herring, MES Special Education Teacher.
I'll make that motion.
Have a
Second.
have a motion and a second? Have a second?
Second.
Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Molly Stratmeyer for MCHS Yearbook Sponsor. Need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Got a motion and I got a second. Any more discussion? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger?
Yes.
Excuse me. Ms. Larison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele?
Yes.
Mr. Souders?
Yes. Okay, position transfers. I can just do all these at once, can I?
Yeah, I think you can.
Haley Huntercook, MCHS Special Education Teacher. She's transferred. Danelle Walker, County Schools Computer Lab Monitor Aide, and Mike Woods is MES Computer Lab Monitor Aide. Need a motion?
Just acknowledge.
None? Okay, cool.
Anybody have any questions on those?
That should do it, shouldn't it?
That's all I have.
Need a motion?
I'd like to add something.
Okay.
The Chamber of Commerce is hosting an event on September 24th at 6:30 for businesses, and Patrick Windhorst is going to be our speaker. This is our chance to give information to him, for him to get back. Main reason why I asked him to come was the minimum wage increase and how it's going to affect our local businesses. And then we are also going to discuss their marijuana legalization and how that could affect things.
When does that be?
It's September 24th at 6:30, and Tom and April Reed have graciously given us the Central Hall.
Central Hall.
Also, I'd like to, we all know that Ron George passed away. He was long-term help here at school, helped many kids and stuff, and I just want to acknowledge that he'd be well missed. I mean, he was just fill in, and I think that, we should do something for the family,
There's a really nice obituary that Mr. Willoughby emailed me. I'll share it with you guys. Really nice, Ron.
But I just want to make sure, we acknowledge what he done for our district, because I mean, he stepped out every time he's needed. I move to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Lisa, roll call, please.
Mr. Berger? Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Rushing?
Yes.
Mr. Summer?
Yes.
Ms. Steele? Mr. Zeppers?
Yes.